This is a video on factorising quadratics. These quadratics are going to be a little bit more complex because there is a number at the beginning of the equation. So where we have to factorise, factorising means where we put it back into double brackets. Okay, so I know it's double brackets on this one because I've got an x squared and an x and a number. So with all of these, you can put them into double brackets. We won't need to use the quadratic formula. So to start with, because there is a number at the front, your first step is to multiply your first and end numbers. So I do 5 times 24, that is 120. So I would do 5 times my 24 to get 120. I then want factors of 120, so pairs of numbers that multiply to 120 that add up to make positive 62. So I start listing my factors. 120, those multiply to make 120. They don't add up to make 62, so it's not those. 2 and 60, they multiply to make 120, and they also add up to make 62. So I need these two numbers. At this stage, I do like to put a plus and a minus in front of them so I don't get confused. Now, because there is two positives in my equation, I need plus 62. So I would be plus 60 plus 2. So at this stage, so instead of positive 62, I want to split that 62 into my 2 and my 60. So I'm going to rewrite my equation, so my 5x squares stay the same. But instead of 62, I'm going to split that into the 60x, so positive 60x, and my positive 2x. So I split my 62 into 60 and 2x, because this is just backwards expanding brackets. Okay, so I've rewrote my equation. My 5x stays the same. My 24 stays the same. They're here and here. And my 62, I've split into 60 and 2. Then I want to split this down the middle. Okay, so I want to split it right before this positive or negative sign there. Split it right down the middle, and I want to factorise one half and factorise the other. So just concentrating on this first step, I want to just put that into single brackets. So what goes into 5x squared and 60x? Well, 5 goes into both of them, and there's also an x, so 5x needs to come on the outside of my bracket. Then I would, need to think of, okay, 5x times this first number would give me 5x squared. 5x times what is 5x squared? We just need another x. So 5x times x gives me 5x squared. Now I'd be thinking 5x times what gives me 60x. So this bit here is going to be 5x times something is 60x. So 5 times positive 12, because there is also a positive 60. So I factorise that one half. I now look at my other half, so I factorise this half. Whatever this is, quick cheat, you can just bring it down. So there will be a positive, or if that's a negative, you bring that straight down. It makes your life a little bit easier. So 2x, what's in 2x and 24x? Well, 2 can go into both of them. And then 2 times what is 2x? I need an x. 2 times what is 24? I need positive 12. 2 times 12 is 24. And you should notice that these two brackets are now the same. So I've got x plus 12 and x plus 12. Therefore, that's one of your solutions, because don't forget factorising means I want to put it into brackets, and factorising quadratics, I want to put it into double brackets. So one of my answers is x plus 12, and the other answer comes from whatever is left outside of your bracket. So I've got this 5x, and I've got this plus 2. So that is the other bracket. So the other bracket is 5x plus 2. A quick way you can check to see if you've done it right is just to expand it. I'm going to have room to do that, but you can just check to expand it. Right, I've got another 3 examples, and they've all got different positives and negatives here. Okay, so let's have a look at our next one. Same thing. We start by multiplying our end two numbers. So in this case, they are quite small, but 2 times 15 gives me 30. That's always step 1. Next step is to think of your factors that multiply to make 30, that add up to make minus 13. Very tricky on this one, because we need positive 30, because there's a plus 15, but we need a negative 13. So I'm just going to list some factors of 30. So we've got 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. There is two possibilities that you could make 13, because some of you may immediately stop after the first one and go, well, 2 and 15 makes 13, because positive 15 take away 2 is 13. But also 3 and 10 can make 13, because I could do -3 and -10. So to make sure you know which one to use, so if I was to do positive 15 and -2, if I was to multiply them, I wouldn't get positive 30, because I need this positive 15, so it can't be that one. So it has to be -3 minus another 10. So I'm going to split my 13 into -3 and -10. So my 2x squared stays the same. It doesn't matter which way around you write your 3 and 10, so I'll do my 3 first, so -3x. And I've got my -10x, so instead of 13x, I've just split it into 3 and 10. And the plus 15 stays the same. I now do my next step, which is split it down the middle, and I want to factorise 1/2 and then factorise the other. So what goes into 2x squared and 3x? There's just an x in them. So next bit would be x times what is 2x squared. I need a 2 and another x. X times what is -3x. I need a -3. So I factorised the 1/2. Don't forget my little cheat, you can just bring this minus straight down. So what goes into 10x and 15? Well, 5 goes into both of those numbers. There's no letter that are in both of them, so it's just 5. 5 times what is 10x? That would give me 2x. And can you see it's -10x, and -5 times +2 gives me -10x. Next I would go 5 times what is 15. So I know 5 times 3 is 15. Now because this needs to be a positive, a minus times what is a positive? Minus times a minus is a positive. And then you can see that both of our brackets are the same. So one answer is 2x minus 3, and the other answer, don't forget, is the things left outside of your brackets. This is why I bring this down, because then you'll know what it's a plus or a minus. So you've got x minus 5 in the other bracket. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more. Okay, so this time we've got a positive and then a negative. So same principle, we've got to do our 12 times our 3. So 12 times 3 is 36. I need my factors of 36 that add up to make positive 5. So just write a few. So we've got 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and 6 and 6. So we can immediately see that the one we need is 4 and 9. But I need positive 5. So I would need to go positive 9, negative 4. If I did positive 4 take away 9, that would give me minus 5. So you make sure you put your minuses and positive in at this stage so you don't get tripped up. So I want to split my 5x into 4x and 9x. So my 12x stays the same, and I've got minus 4x from my highlighted yellow answer here, and I've got positive 9x. So instead of 5 plus 5x, I've got minus 4, add 9, and the minus 3 stays the same. I now split it down the middle, like usual. Factorise this first half. What goes into 12x squared and 4x? Well, the 4 goes into both of them, and there's an x. 4x times what is 12x squared? So I need a 3, because 4 times 3 is 12, and I also need another x, because x times x is x squared. 4x times what is minus 4x? I would need a minus 1. Okay, second half. So immediately we can bring down this positive, so I know this is going to be a positive number. What's in 9x and minus 3? It needs to be a 3. 3 times what is 9x? Well, we need a 3x. And 3 times what is 3? And I need a positive to make a negative, so it needs to be minus 1. Again, we can see our brackets are both the same. Therefore, that's one of the answers. So one answer is 3x minus 1. And our other answer is 4x plus 3. This thing's left outside. So 4x plus 3. Again, you can check it's right by just expanding those brackets and see if you get 12x squared plus 5x minus 3. Okay, last one. So again, I've got 2 negatives in this one, that's why this one's a little bit different. So I need to do my 6 times my 10. So 6 times 10 is 60. I need the factors of 60 that add up to make minus 7. So 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, and 6 and 10. You don't have to write down all your factors if you don't want to. I like to, just in case there's two answers and I have to think about which one is the correct one. So I've got to make minus 7, so I need to use my, that's not a very good highlighter. 5 and 12 make 7. Now think about, I need to make minus 7. So if I was to do minus 5 plus 7, minus 5 plus 12, that would be positive 7. So it has to be minus 12 and plus 5. So I split my 7 into 5 and 12. Doesn't matter which way you write it. So 6x squared, so instead of minus 7x, I'm going to have positive 5x, and minus 12x, and my minus 10 stays the same. So these stay the same, I've just brought them down. Then I've split this minus 7 into positive 5 and minus 12. So I split it down the middle, and I factorise one half, and I factorise the other. So what goes into 6x squared and 5x? There's just an x. So x times what is 6x squared? I need a 6 and an x to make 6x squared. X times what is 5x? So I would just need plus 5. I need to bring this minus straight down. Then 12x, what goes into 12x and minus 10? Well, 2 goes into both of them. And there's no x's, so it's just a 2. 2 times what is 12x? So I need a 6x. And minus 2 times what is minus 10? There's already a minus, so it has to be a positive 5. And we have our answer. One bracket is 6. Both brackets are 6x plus 5, so that's one answer, 6x plus 5. And the other answer is x minus 2. So we've got x minus 2. So that's how you factorise more complex quadratics. What I'm briefly going to show you now is how you solve them. So all that would be different is that it equals 0. Okay, so I'm just going to do 2 examples with you on if these equal 0. So I want you to do the exact same steps. So get to those 2 brackets at the end, because there's only just one extra step at the end. So ignore your equal 0 if you wanted to start with. So I want to do 3 times 10. So 3 times 10 is 30. I need factors of 30 that add up to make positive 17. So I could do 1 and 30, nope. 2 and 15, yeah, so it's 2 and 15. So I need to make positive 17. They're positive 10 on the end, so they need to both be positive. So I'm going to rewrite it as 3x squared. Instead of 17x, I'm going to put plus 2x and plus 15x, and I've still got my positive 10. You can still put equal 0 if you want to, because it's still there. I'm going to factorise the 1/2, so what goes into 3x squared and 2x? There's just an x, no number goes into 3 and 2. X times what is 3x squared? It's 3x. X times what is 2x? It's just positive 2. Next step, bring our positives straight down. What goes into 15x and 10? So 5 goes into both of them. No x in there, in the 10, so we can't take out an x. 5 times what is 15x? 3x, and 5 times what is 10? Positive 2. Got my 2 brackets the same, so one answer is 3x plus 2. So I've got 3x plus 2, and the other answer is what's on the outside, so x plus my 5. So the other bracket is x plus the 5. So like I said, this is now going to solve it. So this now equals 0. So you need an answer now for your x. What you want to do is take one bracket at a time. So if we first have this one, make it equal to 0. So 3x plus 2 equals 0. You just want to rearrange it so you've got x equals to something. So first step I want to do is to take away my 2. So 3x would equal minus 2. Then I want to divide by 3, so x would be minus 2 over 3. So that's one answer. In this case, a little bit easier, x plus 5 equals 0. So make them both equal to 0. So I would just need to take away my 5, because something plus 5 is nothing, then therefore that is minus 5. So I would have two answers that fit into, if you were to plot that quadratic, it would cut your x-axis at minus 2/3 and minus 5. Okay, so that's when you're asked to solve it, you just need to answer to x. I'm going to do one last one that looks a little bit different, okay? But it is the exact same, I promise. So this one, we've got 5x squared minus 80 equals 0. So at this stage, a lot of people might be thinking just to put it into one bracket, but it is still a quadratic, because if I was to, because in each one you've got something x squared plus or minus an x plus or minus a number. So there's a 0x in this one. So you could rewrite it as 5x squared plus no x's minus 80. That might help you out a bit, because you're going to do the exact same. You're going to do 5 times 80. So 5 times 80 is 400. And then I want the factors of 400 that add up to make nothing. So basically you need the same number. So what number times by itself is 400? So it is 20, because 20 times 20 is 400, and 20 take away 20 is 0. So I want to rewrite my equation. Instead of 0, I've got 20x. So I've got 5x squared plus 20x, and obviously this one's going to be a takeaway to make the minus 80, and it needs to make 0. So minus 80, this still equals 0, cut it down our middle, factorise our 1/2, what goes into 5x squared and 20x, a 5 and an x, 5x times what is 5x squared, just an x, and then 5x times what is 20x, I just need a 4. Factorise our other half, first step is to bring this minus straight down. What goes into 20x and 80? 20. 20 times what is 20x? X. 20 times what is minus 80? I've already got one minus. I still need it to remain a minus, so it needs to be a positive. So 20 times what is 80? That gives me 4. So my one bracket is x plus 4. And my other bracket is what's left on the outside, 5x minus 20. So 5x minus 20. And don't forget, we are solving this, so it must equal to 0. So what do your brackets need to be to make it equal to 0? So this one, x plus 4 equals 0. X would have to be minus 4, because minus 4 plus 4 is nothing. And on this side, 5x minus 20 equals 0. Well, I first want to add my 20, so 5x equals 20. Then I want to divide by 5, so is 20 divided by 5, which is just 4. So if you were, again, to plot this quadratic, you would have x equals 4 and x equals minus 4.